Hey, welcome to the Smudcast, where I urge you to never deter from your process. In this week's podcast, I want to talk about something that a lot of us are not aware of, or a lot of us are not aware that we're doing this. We are, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, whether if it's on purpose or not, we are stopping ourselves, preventing ourselves from really sticking our necks and following our dreams. And to further explain, in our heads, we have our own prison system where we are both the security guard and the prisoner at the same time. And every time we, the prisoner, try to escape, we, the security guard, prevents us and catches us and throws us right back in our prison cells. And how it throws us right back, or how we throw ourselves right back, is by doing things that we are aware doesn't get us anywhere. Things like distractions, things like fear, things like family or friends or toxic relationships. It could be people, it could be places, it could be environments, it could be anything. If it stops you from being you, if it prevents you from really sticking your neck and doing things that you want to do, experiencing new things, if it prevents you from doing what you want to do, then those things, whether you realize it or not, are security guards. Or our own security guards. And the reason why it's our own security guards, no matter how tough life, gets, or how difficult it gets, there is ultimately a decision. We ultimately make a decision where we choose to either do something new, follow our dreams, take that first step, or dial ourselves back by making excuses or by distracting our minds from doing what we actually want to do, distracting our minds from being creative. And the reason why, that's a, security guard, prisoner kind of complex. The reason why we have a prison in our minds is because it didn't just come out of nowhere. This started from the beginning in our childhood, where we see things and experience things, whether it's a nasty household, whether it's a nasty school, whether it's nasty environment, whether it's bullying, whether it's jealousy, things like that are preventing us from truly growing and preventing us from truly thriving. And that's what I mean by, doing it unconsciously or not. You don't realize it sometimes because you're used to doing that. You're used to stopping yourself. You're used to putting that barrier. You're used to slowing down once you get close to the finish line. Because every time you get too far outside of your comfort zone, every time you get too far, you stop yourself. Every time you get too far, you immediately sabotage what you're trying to do. And it could be on purpose or not, it doesn't even matter. But we all do this, where instead of doing the maximum, we do the bare minimum. And the bare minimum will not get us anywhere but into a miserable life. And in most cases, the only way for us to realize that is if we make mistakes or keep experiencing that cycle of trying new things and dialing back, trying new things and stopping yourself, trying new things and distracting yourself, trying new things and prevent yourself, sabotage yourself. Once we get too close outside of our comfort zone, once we get too close outside of our true self or close to our true self, we stop ourselves right there. Right there. We sabotage ourselves. We trip ourselves because we're scared. Fear is also a big role in this. Fear is also a huge factor because fear can either encourage us or it can stop us right at our tracks. Fear is a common excuse that a lot of us make. fear of not succeeding, fear of not being appreciated, fear of not being looked up at. You know what I'm saying? Fear of not having people by your side, or the fear of being alone. Fear is a huge variable. And how we control our fear, how we project our fear, how we use our fear determines whether or not our life will be fruitful and successful or miserable and stressful. Because there are a lot of things we can't control in life, a lot of things that we can't do anything about. But there are a handful of things we can. And the one thing we can't control is ourselves. We can control ourselves. We can control what we do. We can control how we think, how we act. We can control us. So forget all the outside distractions. Forget all the outside world. Forget all the things you can't control. And stop blaming on the things you can't control and start focusing on yourself, because you can control yourself. At least that. And you've probably done a lot of crazy, messed up things in the past. But it doesn't matter. Right now is a new day. Right now is a new you. Right now is a new version of you. And tomorrow is the next version. Tomorrow is another version of you. Whether you dial it back and do the exact same things that are preventing you, or you take that first step and never go back. It is entirely up to you at that point. You can blame the world. You can blame capitalism. You can blame everything. You can blame the industry. You can blame anything. But if you're going to do that, at least start blaming yourself as well. At least that. And I'm not even encouraging blaming things outside of you. But if you're going to insist on doing it anyway, then at least take responsibility for what you can control. That is the least you can do. That is the least you deserve. Because it's frustrating when you realize that a lot of the things we've chose to do was entirely our faults, whether good or bad. It doesn't matter if it was good or bad. A lot of the things we do, a lot of the decisions we've made got to where we're at now. Whether or not it's good or bad, we are here because of our decisions. And that is something that we have to accept. And that is something we have to move past and have to move forward from. Because how long will we allow ourselves to keep living a life which we don't deserve? How long will we keep dialing ourselves back? How long will we keep preventing ourselves? How long will we keep dimming ourselves? For what purpose? How long will we insist on living someone else's life? Because I'm telling you this right now, if you insist in living a life in which you don't deserve, and you're fully aware that you don't deserve it, if you insist on living that way because you see no other way, if you insist on thinking outside the box and start just believing in the unknowns, believing in yourself, if you don't insist in doing that, if you don't do that at all, I'm telling you, you will not live a life you want, and you will be miserable. You will have a number of regrets in your head. Today is the day that you make that decision. Take that first step and do something that you actually want to do. Do something that you actually love doing. Do something that you're actually curious about experiencing or learning. Do something that will actually fulfill you. Because that is the least you can do right now. The least you can do is do what you actually want to do. And it'll be hard, of course. I never said it'd be easy. I never said it'd be simple. But you have to start somewhere. Make it simple. Do not complicate what you want for yourself. Do not complicate your desires. Do not complicate your life any more than you already have. Start seeing things simple. And by simple, just saying that you believe in yourself. Saying you love yourself. By simple, you'll say to yourself that you deserve better. Don't make it too complicated for yourself. Simplify it. Work with something, because that is something that you deserve. You deserve the best. And you can't deserve the best if you're not the best. So don't forget who you are. Don't forget who you want to be. Don't forget your likes, your desires, your hobbies. Don't forget what makes you happy, what makes you feel joy. Don't forget who you are. Because who you are will carry you throughout your journey. Who you are will carry you throughout your life. Don't be ashamed of being who you are. Don't be ashamed of being you. And stop allowing that security guard in your head. Stop allowing that security guard in your mind. Stop allowing that security guard to get to you. Because if you insist on doing that, you will have a life or live a life with regrets. And you will not be happy. This is your life. Not everything has to be planned. Not everything has to be complicated. Just try. The least you can do is try. The least you can do is do it. Now. You have to. You have to start. And like I said, it's going to be difficult. It won't be easy because all this time you've been living a life that wasn't yours. You've gotten used to living a life that isn't meant for you. So it won't be easy. But even if that's the case, man, even if that's the case, do not allow anything. Do not even allow yourself to stop you from acquiring what you deserve. Because a life of success is a life that you deserve. The process will be grueling. The process will be stressful. The process will be frustrating because the longer you're on in this process, the more you realize that it's ultimately up to you. The more you realize that it's on you. The more you realize that the ball is in your court. The more you realize that everything you've done until now or everything you're doing right now is entirely your fault. The more you realize that your future is entirely on you. But even if that's the case, do not allow yourself, do not allow anything, do not allow nothing, do not allow a single thing to deter you from a process which you deserve, a process you will succeed in, a process that will be tough, but a process that is well worth it. Don't deter from your process. And thank you for listening to this podcast.